Look at this coin. Pure silver. Massive, bigger than any US coin still made today. Nearly 27 grams of .900 fine silver. And 1921, that's the year that changed everything for American silver dollars. 1921 is the only year in American history when two completely different dollar designs were minted. The old Morgan, ending a 43-year run, and the brand new peace dollar, commemorating the end of World War I. But today, we're talking about the Morgan. The US Mint struck over 86 million Morgan dollars in 1921 alone. That's more silver dollars than any other single year in history, before or since. And you know what? You can still buy one today for as little as $30. But in mint condition, hundreds. Let me explain why. The Morgan dollar started in 1878. For 26 years, millions were minted. Then in 1904, production just stopped. The silver was gone. The need was gone. For 17 years, America made no Morgan dollars. But 1921, everything changed. Here's what happened. World War I was devastating. Britain's economy was in crisis. Germany ran propaganda saying British money was worthless. So America passed the Pittman Act in 1918. And we melted, get this, over 270 million silver dollars. Turned them into bullion and sold it to Britain for $1 an ounce. Saved their economy. Destroyed our coins. By 1921, someone at the Treasury looked around and said, where are all our silver dollars? We'd melted hundreds of millions. The vaults were basically empty. Commerce needed silver dollars. So the government ordered the mints, start making Morgans again. But there was a problem. All the old Morgan dollar dies, the metal stamps used to make the coins, had been destroyed back in 1910. So mint engravers had to create entirely new dies in 1921. That's why 1921 Morgans look slightly different from earlier ones. The relief is lower. Liberty's face is a bit different. Experts can spot it immediately. 3 mints went into overdrive. Philadelphia, no mint mark, made 44.6 million. San Francisco, S mint mark, made 21.7 million. And Denver, D mint mark, made 20.3 million. Here's something cool. 1921 is the only year Denver ever made Morgan dollars. That makes the 1921 D special to collectors. By late 1921, the new peace dollar was ready. Designed to celebrate the end of World War I, the war to end all wars. Beautiful design, high relief, completely different look. And the Treasury said, that's it for the Morgan. December 1921 was the last month Morgan dollars were ever made. After 43 years, the Morgan dollar was done. The obverse, that's the front, shows Lady Liberty in profile facing left. She's wearing a Phrygian cap, that's a liberty cap from ancient Rome. The word liberty is right on it. Her hair flows back, and woven into it is a wreath of wheat and cotton, American agriculture. Above her, E pluribus unum, out of many, one. And below, 1921. The designer, George T. Morgan. British guy who came to America in 1876 and became chief engraver at the US Mint. This dollar is literally named after him, the Morgan dollar. That's rare. Usually coins are named by denomination or subject. This one, named for the artist. That's how iconic his design became. That face? It's a real person. Anna Willis Williams, a Philadelphia schoolteacher. Morgan asked her to model in 1876. She agreed, but when the coin came out and people realized Liberty was based on a real woman, scandal. In the 1870s, this was controversial. Anna was actually upset about it at first. But today, she's immortalized on millions of coins. Flip it over. The reverse shows a heraldic eagle, very traditional American design. Wings spread, looking proud. In its left talon, 3 arrows, that's military might. In its right, an olive branch, that's peace. The message? America wants peace, but we're ready for war. Shield on the breast, in God we trust, above, and $1 at the bottom. Now, this is important. Look at the reverse, below the eagle, above the word dollar. See anything there? If there's nothing, it's Philadelphia. If there's a tiny D, Denver. If there's an S, San Francisco. These are mint marks, and they matter for value. The Philadelphia ones are most common. Denver ones? Slightly more sought after because it's the only year Denver made Morgans. So why 86 million in one year? Several reasons. First, the Pittman Act required the government to replace those melted coins. Second, there was a 17-year backlog, no Morgans from 1905 to 1920. Third, the post-war economy was booming. And fourth, the Western silver mining lobby had been pushing for this. They wanted a market for their silver, so the mints cranked them out. Now, usually when you have coins over 100 years old, most are gone. Melted, lost, destroyed. But 1921 Morgans? Because so many were made, millions still exist. You can walk into a coin shop today and buy one. That's amazing. It's over a century old, made of real silver, and it's affordable. So what's it worth? Well, that depends entirely on condition. A beat-up, heavily circulated one, maybe $30 to $50, basically silver value plus a bit. Nice uncirculated, $100 to $250. Gem uncirculated MS65 or better, $300 to $600. And truly exceptional MS67 or higher, thousands. The difference between a $40 coin and a $4,000 coin is just condition. Here's the thing about silver dollars, they have a built-in safety net. This coin is 90% silver. That's 0.77 troy ounces of pure silver. At today's silver prices around $32 an ounce, that's about $25 worth of silver. So even the most beaten up, worn out 1921 Morgan is worth at least $25 to $30 just for the metal. That's your floor. Can't really lose. So why collect 1921 Morgans? They're affordable. They're beautiful. They're real silver. They're over a century old. They're the last year of an iconic American coin. And they're everywhere. You can actually find and buy them. For new collectors, this is the coin to start with. You get history, silver, and beauty without breaking the bank. Now, if you want to go deep, there's VAM collecting. VAM stands for Van Allen and Malice, two researchers who cataloged over 300 different die varieties just for 1921 Morgans. We're talking tiny differences, die cracks, repunched dates, doubled dies. Most 1921 Morgans, worth $30 to $50. But find the right VAM, could be worth hundreds, even thousands. It's treasure hunting with common coins. Then there are errors. Dies crack and break after thousands of strikes. Sometimes you'll see a die crack running through the date. Or a cud, that's a raised blob where the die broke at the rim. Or clashed dies, where the dies hit each other without a coin between them, leaving ghost images. These errors can add significant value, $50, $100, $200 more depending on the error. Here's a wild story. A collector named S.H. Chapman had bags of uncirculated 1921 Morgans. Thousands of them. In the 1960s and 70s, these slowly came to market, flooded the supply of high-grade coins. That's one reason why even uncirculated 1921 Morgans are relatively affordable today. There's just a lot of them out there. Here's where it gets interesting. Yes, 1921 Morgans are common, but in absolutely flawless condition, rare. An MS67, that's near perfect, might cost $5,000. An MS68, try $30,000 or more. Why? Because even though millions were made, very few survived in absolutely pristine condition. Bags clanking together in vaults damaged most of them. So while you can buy a nice one for $100, a perfect one, that's a whole different story. Look at these 5 coins side by side. All are 1921 Morgans. But the difference in condition? One is worth $35. Another is worth $200. Same coin, different preservation. That's why grading matters. If you have one of these, take time to assess its condition. That flatness on Liberty's cheek? That determines if you have a $40 coin or a $400 coin. How do you collect these? Depends on your goal. Want just one nice example of a Morgan dollar? Get a 1921, it's affordable. Want to collect all 3 1921 mints? That's $100 to $150 total. Want the full Morgan series, 1878 to 1921? That's 96 different coins, and it'll cost you anywhere from $2,000 to $50,000 depending on what grade you target. But it's a lifetime hobby for many collectors. Where do you buy? Local coin shops let you see the coin first. Online dealers like AppMex have huge selections. Auction houses handle the rare stuff. Coin shows are great, you can compare hundreds of coins in one place. eBay? Use extreme caution, there are fakes out there. My advice, for your first Morgan, go to a reputable dealer or show. See it in hand. And if spending over $100, buy certified. If you're serious about collecting, learn about certification. PCGS and NGC are the two main grading services. You send them your coin, they grade it professionally, seal it in a tamper-proof holder with a label showing the grade. Cost: $30 to $50 per coin. Worth it? If your coin is worth $100 or more, yes. Certification guarantees authenticity, locks in the grade, and typically adds 10 to 30% to resale value. Should you buy these as an investment? Here's my honest take. The silver provides a safety net. Over decades, they tend to hold or gain value. But this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. Don't invest rent money. Don't expect 50% returns in a year. Collect because you love history, because you appreciate art, because holding a 100-year-old silver coin is cool. If they appreciate, great bonus. But that shouldn't be the main reason. Are there fakes? Yes, mostly coming from China. How do you spot them? Weight test, should be exactly 26.73 grams. Sound test, real silver rings clearly when dropped. Magnet test, silver isn't magnetic. And look at the details, fakes usually have mushy engraving. Best protection, buy from established dealers who guarantee authenticity. And if buying raw coins for serious money, get them certified first. So why does 1921 matter? It's the end. The final year of the Morgan dollar after 43 years. It's the transition. World War I ended, the Roaring Twenties began, America was changing. It's record-breaking, more silver dollars that year than any other. And it's accessible. Over 100 years later, you can still get one. That's remarkable. Think about this coin's journey. Minted in 1921. Maybe it circulated for a few years, bought groceries, paid wages. Then someone saved it. It sat in a drawer, a vault, a collection. It survived the Great Depression, World War II, the Cold War, 9/11, COVID, everything. And it's still here. Still silver. Still beautiful. 100 years from now, it'll still be here. Can't say that about paper money. If this video has you interested, here's what I recommend. Go to a local coin shop or coin show. Ask to see some 1921 Morgans. Hold one. Feel that weight, that's real silver. Look at the design, 100 plus years old. Pick one you like. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be expensive. $50 gets you started. And then, you're a collector. Welcome to the hobby. And you know what the best part is? The community. Coin collectors are some of the nicest, most generous people. We love sharing knowledge, teaching beginners, celebrating finds. Join a local coin club. Follow coin channels on YouTube. Jump into the forums. You'll make friends. You'll learn. And your collection will grow, not just in coins, but in knowledge and connections. The 1921 Morgan silver dollar. 26.73 grams of 90% silver. 38 millimeters of American history. The last year of a legend. Worth $30 to $30,000 depending on condition. And available to you, right now. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give it a like. Subscribe for more coin history and collecting content. And comment below, do you have a 1921 Morgan? Which mint? What condition? I love hearing from fellow collectors. Let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Now go find yourself a 1921 Morgan. You won't regret it. Happy collecting.